Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jessica, and I'm going to be your host for today's Get to Know Undeclared Arts session. So welcome to week 2 of Ryerson's virtual open house week. For those of you who joined us for a few sessions last week, welcome back. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, thanks for joining again. Ryerson has shifted to an essential services model to help prevent the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, which is why we are on your screens and not with you in person. We have put together a series of virtual sessions in order to share information and connect with you from the comforts of your own home. Ryerson is working diligently to provide students with fulsome experiences while maintaining the health and safety of our community. As I've mentioned, there are many sessions taking place across these 2 weeks, so we do encourage you to visit our website and register for any other sessions that may be of interest to you. For those of you who maybe just found out about us this week and are kind of nervous because you didn't get to watch anything last week, don't worry, we will have some recordings available on our website for you to rewatch at a future date, so stay tuned for that. Now, before we begin, I'd like to go through a few Zoom housekeeping tips. We encourage you to ask questions. We have many faculty and staff members here who are behind the scenes who are going to help answer your questions throughout the session. And we'll also be leaving some time at the end to answer some live questions. So feel free to populate the Q&A box, which is located at the bottom of your screen. You can click on this and a dialog window will open up and you can ask your questions at any time. If you're having any audio or video issues, please also feel free to flag those in the Q&A pod, and we will do our best to troubleshoot to make sure that you are getting the best experience as possible. You can also rearrange your screen in any way that works best for you. So if you want to make it bigger or smaller or adjust anything, it's not going to change anything from our screen that you're seeing. It'll only adjust your own. This presentation is also being closed captioned to ensure accessibility. So if you do require closed captioning, please select that option at the bottom of your Zoom screen. As you can also tell, this session is being recorded. So if you do happen to want to review something, or maybe you missed something, feel free to check out our website at a later date and you'll be able to rewatch it. Keep in mind that the Q&A box is not going to be part of the recorded session. So if you do get a really great answer or maybe a link to something, feel free to save that on a document on your computer or take a screenshot or picture. Now, on the next slide, you will see the land acknowledgement. So even though we are not physically on Ryerson's campus, we still feel that it's important to acknowledge the land in which our university exists. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. Now, as much as this session is to learn about all things Ryerson, we would also like to get to know you as well as people who are joining us. So I'm going to be launching a poll here to see who's joining us today. So I encourage you to vote in to let us know if you're a prospective student or maybe a parent or guardian, teacher, counselor. I'll give you a few more seconds to answer this poll here. Thank you for those of you who are tuning in and joining us. Really excited to have you here. Awesome. So it looks like we have a lot of prospective students, both from for fall 2021, as well as in future years as well too. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce our speakers today from our Faculty of Arts, Undeclared. So I encourage you now to take over, and I know you're about to do your own introduction, so I'll let you take it away.
I'm actually muted, but now I'm not. Hi. This is something we go through all the time. Hi, I'm Dr. Kathleen Kellett. I am the Associate Dean, Undergraduate Studies in the Faculty of Arts at Ryerson. And I, along with Elisa Rayford, the Program Administrator, we administer the Undeclared Arts Program. Elisa much more than I do. She's actually the expert. So I'm gonna ask her to say hello as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elisa. I am the program administrator for Undeclared Arts. I provide one-on-one academic counseling. I work very closely with Kathleen, and together we manage both the program, students. We assist in any way possible. We help with program transfer options, academic and non-academic resources, course selection, ramp support, and of course, important dates. So I'm usually the first point of contact for students, and I work very closely again with Kathleen. And I'll hand it over to my to the next two students.
Just wait. I just want to emphasize before we go to our students who are also fantastic, how important and how fantastic Lisa Rayford is, and how essential it is that you get to know your program advisor. Okay, the program advisor is a person that, first point of contact to direct you to where you need to go, first person to offer you the advice that you need. So we support you as much as we can, and Elisa, I tell you, is the expert. So, and when you move from undeclared arts to your next program, your your undergraduate program advisor, also very important. So you cannot underestimate the importance of the program administrator. This is a person you need to get to know. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I'm going to ask our two students who have come here to talk about their experience to tell us who they are briefly.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yazdan. I'm a third-year sociology student, and I started off in my first year in the Undeclared Arts program, which is why I was asked to be here. I'm very grateful to be here with you all, and thank you all for joining us.
Wonderful. And Yazdan's going to come back a bit later and talk in more detail about his experience. Zufishan Salim, another student who was in geographic analysis and who has helped us a few times now. Would you like to present yourself, please?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Zufishan Salim. I'm in my fourth year of geographic analysis. I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad you guys can join us. Thank you.
Great. So thank you very much. So I think it's my turn to talk a little bit about the program, Undeclared Arts. Now, Undeclared Arts is a transition first-year program. You don't stay in Undeclared Arts, but it is a fantastic program, one-year program to come into to give you the time to decide what it is you want to do. So it gives you the opportunity to explore different options while taking all the courses that you need, so that when you move into your major in your second year, it's a smooth transition. Every course that you took in Undeclared Arts counts for the major that you've chosen, or the double major, depending on what your choices are. And it's just, it allows you to move from one to the other after having explored your options. I mean, you're going to look at this, you're going to take social sciences and humanities, and maybe you thought when you came in that, well, history and English, love that, that's what I want to do. But then you take this fantastic sociology course, and that just says, okay, I have to do that. I have to do that. So this is for curious people. This is for people who have that kind of intellectual curiosity that want to say, okay, I want to check out my options before I commit to a particular major. I'm going to talk a bit more about the different courses, but we just feel that students feel more confident after completing their first year in Undeclared Arts. It's, you've had that year to take what we call the first year common platform, to take different electives and to get to know the campus, virtual or otherwise, and the other students in the program. Next slide, please. Okay, so is it for you? Is this the right choice for you? Well, the question is, do you enjoy the social sciences and humanities? And in many cases, I know you like both. You want to do both. You're not really sure. So this program allows you to take a history course, take an English course, take a sociology course, take a criminology course, different possibilities in that first year to figure out what it is you want to do. Do you want to do a major? Do you want to do a major and a minor? Do you want to, you have different possibilities. The whole question is, how do you want to tailor your degree to your interests and to your career goals and your personal goals? So it gives you a bit more time. Most of our program students go directly into sociology or directly into geographic analysis or another program. But this one, you have until February 2nd. So you get into the second term. You've already done one term, you can take a second term. And by that time, we think, you've probably figured out which is the best program for you. If you're stuck deciding between 2 or 3 majors, maybe maybe you want, well, we don't have triple majors. I'm going to say that right away, but we do have double majors at Ryerson. So, and in the Faculty of Arts specifically. So maybe you come in and you say, I really want to study geographic analysis, but then you take some courses in environment and urban sustainability, 2 courses, 2 programs, and you say, okay, you know, maybe I want to do a major in one and a minor in the other. Maybe I want to do a major in politics and a minor in sociology, or a minor in criminology. Maybe, you know, you thought you're going to psychology, you really like it, but then you think, is this a program for me? Maybe I want to do a minor. Do I want to do a major or a minor? And you have these different options so that you can figure out what works best for you. Next slide. What will you study in that first year? Well, as I said, we have what we call the first year common platform. And that means that all of the students coming into the Faculty of Arts have a very similar first year. We have 4 introductory courses in the social sciences and humanities, and that's where you get to explore, right? You can take different courses, find out what you really like, and what the different possibilities are. At the same time, in that first year, you develop what we call core competencies in academic writing and research. So that's SSH 205, that all of the first year students, even the ones that have already chosen their major, they're going to take that course as well. And this, of course, is to help you, you know, develop certain skills that you're going to be using all through your years at Ryerson and beyond. And then we also have the course SSH 105, which is critical thinking. And critical thinking 1, actually. And this is very helpful, again, to give you some core competencies, to make you a stronger student, for one thing, but also, you know, to give you that edge when you're at, you know, at Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, and you want to, you know, you really know how to argue. Knowing how to argue is a very useful skill in any particular situation, whether it's personal or it's at work. So critical thinking, what arguments are valid, what arguments are not. This is a core competency course that all of our students take. And I should add that we do have, there's actually a student learning group where students can get together and study together on SSH 105. It's a course that has a lot of problem solving in it. So you should be aware that, you know, you don't have to go it entirely on your own. This is a course that actually has student learning group where you can, you know, you can talk to others, you can get some extra help working through the logic problems that you're going to be given in that course. So then it comes to second semester. And in February, you're going to decide, hopefully by that time you've had 1 full semester and then part of another semester. And, you know, you probably have a really good idea of what program you really want to go into. As I said, we have majors, we also have double majors, and then you can also look at a combination of majors and minors. So, you know, maybe a major in psych with a minor in politics, maybe a major in English with a minor in law, because some of our, you can take minors outside the Faculty of Arts as well. So different options are possible for you depending on your interests. You get to do that tailoring. But yes, second semester, you have to make up your mind. Choose what you're going to do. And actually for minors, you don't have to make a decision right away, but for your majors, you're going to have to move into a particular major. And we hope that it will be one that you've discovered and you've developed a real enthusiasm for. Also, we have, there are various elective courses. So in the first year, we always require that our students take a course from outside the Faculty of Arts so that you can get a sense of what's being offered elsewhere, and also to allow students to pursue other interests. As I said, for example, we have a lot of students that do a minor in law. We have a lot of students that do a minor in marketing. So those are in different faculties. And then that first year, very often you'll pick up that first year course from another faculty and say, yeah, you know what, this would be really great to have law combined with a minor in law combined with a politics major, for example. So different elective courses, again, allow you to pursue. We know that you're curious. We know that you're the kind of people that like to check out different things. So you want to keep that broad perspective all through your undergraduate studies and beyond. And then, of course, as I mentioned, minors. I'm particularly fond of minors. When I went to university, I thought I was going to study linguistics, and then I decided I wasn't really interested in linguistics. So I actually majored in French, in Quebec literature. And I did a minor in English because I loved, again, English literature. And I took a lot of courses in psych and various things. And I think that, having a broad education, having an interest in a lot of different areas is something that you should really value. Next slide, please. Program transfer options. This is where I hand it over to Elisa because she is the expert in this field.
Thanks, Kathleen. So as Kathleen mentioned, the program is really for students who are undecided about which major they want to pursue within the humanities and social sciences. And because it's only a year long, almost a semester and a half, students have to take courses in the fall that are related to the major that they want to pursue and apply by February 2nd to transfer into your second year of studies. So all students need to decide which major they want to pursue based on the courses that they sampled in the fall. And everything that you successfully complete in the first year will be transferred to that selected program. So the curriculum is designed to make the process very seamless so that you're not required to go back and do any reach-back courses. So the courses in first year are a mix of introductory level courses within the areas available for program transfer. And students normally complete 5 courses in the fall and 5 courses in the winter. That's very flexible. Some students take a reduced course load, which is perfectly fine. There are other ways to make up the courses that you were not able to take in the fall and the winter. We do have spring summer school, and if one of our students at the end want to comment about their experience with spring summer, if they have taken spring summer, it is a bit different, but not so much. I mean, it's just a way that you can catch up on courses that you couldn't complete in the fall and winter. And the courses in the fall are actually very critical because they will help you decide which major you want to pursue and apply by February 2nd. So by the end of the fall term, you'll have somewhat of a better idea of what you want to continue with and major in. So in the next slide, are examples of courses that you would take in first year. You don't have to take all of them. These are just examples, and examples of what you would be, what we like to call sampling or exploring. And you would be, and this is what will really help determine the major you want to pursue. And by the end of the fall term, you really have a better idea and a better sense of which courses you want to continue with taking. And as a result, which major you want to pursue. So some of you, come in knowing, I want to pursue psychology, but there are other areas that I'm interested in too, and I just can't make up my mind. And the other 2 areas are English and let's say sociology. So if that was your interest, those 3 areas, in first year, in first semester, you would take the English 110, the psychology course, the 102, and the Social 105, Introduction to Sociology. And by the end, after taking all those 3 courses, that's what really is going to help you determine which path you want to take. And you know what? A lot of students do change their mind. They have this goal that, I think it's psychology I want, but then they end up going into other courses and they like them even more. And then they end up finding out that psychology wasn't what they thought it was. So, Undeclared Arts is great for that. Really great if you really want to explore your first year options before, making that decision on what major you would want to pursue. So the fall term is very critical for that. And of course, you have the opportunity in the winter to continue those courses as well. And there are students at the end of the fall term who do decide, who change their mind and want to explore other areas, which is fine. You're given that opportunity within Undeclared Arts to do those sorts of things.
Maybe if I could break in, yeah. Lisa, just, I'm from the Department of Languages, Literatures, and Cultures. So I just thought I'd mention that in terms of the French courses and the Spanish courses, that we have Mandarin, and we also have American Sign Language, and we also have Arabic. That when you take these courses, I know some of you will have already done some French or some Spanish, or maybe you already know those languages or the languages in question quite well. You need to take our placement test, right? So just because you're in first year, it doesn't mean you're taking French 101. If you did grade 13 immersion, or grade 12, sorry, whoops, grade 12 immersion, you're probably going to take French 501. So just to be clear, it's for the language courses, you need to do a placement test. It's available online, and that'll tell you which level that you can enroll in for those courses.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, this is just, there are more courses in first year than what this chart is showing you. These are just examples of the required courses and the recommended courses that you would have to take for program transfer. So as I go to my next slide, here are the program transfer options. So the courses that I had shown prior in the chart, those are the courses that you would need in order to transfer to these programs here listed. So there are 4 in the humanities, 6 in the social sciences, and 9 double majors. So if you wanted to pursue psychology as your major, you should be taking Psych 102 in the fall term. If it's history that you want to pursue, then you have to take an HIS course. The HIS course that I mentioned in the previous slide is probably 1 out of 6 HIS courses that are offered within the term. So again, they're just examples just to give you a sense of what you're going to be experiencing in first year and how it works with program transfer and what programs would be looking for when they look at your application after February 2nd. So they'll see that, there's a student here wanting to apply to environment and urban sustainability. Do they have or have they completed EUS 102, which is the required course? So you want to make sure that you have those courses under your belt once you're done the fall term so that you have a major to select. Because again, it's only a year long. Well, as I said, 1.5 semesters, because you do choose midwinter the program that you want to pursue for the fall. And again, I'm here to assist with that. A lot of students require assistance with what should I choose? I didn't end up liking anything. What path should I take? And this is where I come in. I assist students with these decisions, and I also am a triage. I also refer students out to people who can assist them, especially our Faculty of Arts career counselor, which we're going to get to in a minute on a different slide. I do refer a lot of students to him. He is excellent at helping students help identify their career identity and to help strengthen their career decision-making goals. So so we do have these resources for you. So you're not alone making these decisions on your own. There is help, and I am always the first person of contact to always help you with that. Now, you'll notice that there are some programs with an asterisk, and those are the programs that actually require a 3.0 at the end of the fall term, which is a B. So it's mainly psychology and criminology, and the criminology double majors. So because they are highly competitive programs, they do require the 3.0 at the end of the fall term in order to qualify for program transfer. So we always do ask students to have a backup or a second choice in case it doesn't work out for criminology or psychology. And of course, it's not the end of the road there. You can still continue trying for those programs in second year. So it's just that once you get to second year, you might have to go back and do some additional courses, but it is possible, and we are here to help with that if needed. So Kathleen, did you want to talk about co-op?
I actually did want to talk about co-op. Yes, funny she should mention that. Yes, we're very excited. This is a new program that we're just rolling out this year in cooperative education in the Faculty of Arts. The first year pilot, which will, for the first work terms will be winter 2022, but the first is in just 4 programs: sociology, English, politics and governance, and history. Those were we're going forward with our pilot program with those 4 programs, but we anticipate that we'll be adding other programs to the cooperative education mix as we go along. So this is separate from your majors in the sense that you apply for it around February, January, and you are accepted into co-op. You have to have at least a 2.67, and you also have to write a letter of intent why you want to go into co-op. We have a fairly limited number this year. We're only taking about 60 to 70 students into the program, into the cooperative education program. And it will be, as I said, for those 4 programs: sociology, English, politics and governance, and history. The students will have to take a prep course on cooperative education, and then the following, having applied one winter, they would be starting in the following winter to go to work terms. Of course, during the work terms, you are actually paid. The fees for co-op are higher than there are extra fees for co-op, but you make enough money, more than enough money, to cover those fees in your training. And what we really want, the reason we wanted to do co-op and why we think this is really exciting for arts, is that in the Faculty of Arts and arts education, sometimes it's hard to figure out what job goes with what, right? You know, like if you take philosophy or if you take English, you could end up in all sorts of different jobs. So we're hoping that having the work terms will allow students to explore different workplaces and get a sense of what they really want to do, and to gain that work experience as well as getting paid. Students are required to do 3 terms of co-op, of placement. Each year you tend to get paid a bit better, and we show you how to, or the Career Center, the Center for Career and Co-op Education, works with the students to make sure that they're ready for the workplace, and they know how to apply for jobs, they know what professional behavior is, etc. So yes, as I said, something that we're very excited about, and our first rollout with just those 4 programs, but we will be expanding it, and we're pretty excited about it. So hope that you will be interested as well. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kathleen. So on to the next slide for scholarships and funding. All right, so we do have a guaranteed renewable scholarship at Ryerson. So students who are attending secondary school with incoming averages that are 80% or higher are awarded a scholarship. And depending on what or where your average falls in the 80 range or in the 90 range, your scholarship will vary in the amount. So as an example, if you are coming in with a 90 average, you are awarded $2,000 in year 1. Now, if you keep up that same average, it's renewable. So every year, if you keep that up, you're guaranteed to get $8,000 at the end of 4th year. So it's a great opportunity for those students coming in with a higher average. And of course, we do have other types of funding and scholarships available for students, some of which you may be familiar with already. So the OSAP, or the Ontario Student Assistance Program, it's open to every Ontario resident and provides loans funded by the Ontario government to help pay for tuition, books, compulsory fees, living expenses, and you must obviously qualify for the funding by providing information on your income, and if you're living at home, your family's income. There's also out of province. If you're coming to Ryerson from out of province, you can apply for financial assistance through your home province or territory. And I believe you can do this through the Service Hub, if I've read correctly on their website. But always, the Service Hub always has information about funding and financial assistance as well. So there's also the Student Access Guarantee. If you qualify for receiving full-time OSAP, you're automatically assessed for Student Access Guarantee based on the information you provide on your OSAP application. So it provides additional funds to assist with educational costs and is a non-repayable bursary, which is great if you do qualify for that. Now, awards and scholarship, a very great opportunity to take advantage of. We actually are going to be having all of our students be creating a profile as soon as they are matriculated into the program. So we do have a new awards management system called AwardSpring. Once you create a profile on AwardSpring, which just includes very simple information about yourself, you answer a few questions, such as name, your expense information, and you also fill out a form that will determine whether or not you have financial need, which will give you access to awards that that will offer students an award that have financial need part of the criteria. And it will give you access to many awards and scholarships and bursaries offered by your program faculty and by the university. So you're getting a wide range of opportunity here for more money, and just to help you out with your expenses. And of course, we do have employment opportunities. We offer on-campus employment opportunities to full-time undergraduate students. We do have a program called the Career Boost Program, and you can have access to employment opportunities through various academic and administrative units. So on to the next slide. Now I'd like to talk about the resources on campus. Because we've moved to an online model this year, a lot of these resources actually became also available online too. So they didn't stop offering support to students. They continued, and they found ways to reach out to students to ensure that they're getting the support that they need while we're learning remotely from campus, off campus. So, hopefully, if things do continue the way they do, we do still offer the support needed for students that are going to be online. But, our hopes that everybody is going to return to campus. But right now, we're just unsure, of course, of what will happen next year with the pandemic. But we have been offering many through the student learning support. A very popular one is the writing support. It's an opportunity for students to book a one-on-one appointment with a writing consultant to help improve writing skills. There are 3 types of individual appointments for students to book an appointment for. There are ones for English language learners, for those who want to improve their oral and written communication. There's one for just grammar and self-editing, just to help identify errors, grammar, spelling, and sentence structure. And of course, the third most popular is the academic writing. So assessing the format of the essay and receiving some critical feedback. It's a very popular resource that's on campus. I think we'll see if our students have used them, and they can also mention that to see if they found it to be useful when it comes to writing essays in their courses. We also have the math support. So it offers supports to students who require math assistance. Some of you, if you're in a social science program, you might be required to do some stats courses. Not to be too afraid of that. It's simple math, but you know, we do have math assistance as well. And it will come handy if you're in second or third year and when you're completing your stats courses. We do have the study skills and transition. It helps students develop effective study skills and habits through workshops, individual support, group studying, and tutoring. You do have the opportunity to speak with a peer academic coach to create that personalized study plan. We also have academic accommodation support, which supports students with disabilities and who are looking for help with their academic accommodations. So if you did have an IEP in high school, this type of support will definitely come handy. You can apply the IEP with your academic accommodation facilitator and to create and implement individualized academic accommodation plans so that you can participate in your studies. So you can apply that when you are admitted and meet with somebody from the AAS team, and they should be able to assist you with that. And of course, tied to the academic accommodation support is the test center, which provides students a private space to write a test or an exam, especially if they have test anxiety, if that's part of their academic accommodation support. So that test center does provide that option for students who have test anxiety as well. So going on with other resources available, we do have the Student Experience Center, which I'm going to pass to Kathleen to talk about, but it's specifically for arts. And, you know, there's a group of professionals within the Student Experience Center really helping to engage you in your faculty community and make connections to accomplish goals. But Kathleen can talk about that too. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Elisa. Actually, Elisa mentioned one of our really important members for someone who's really available to help you through your choice of major and your career identity, and that is Sunny Wong. So Sunny Wong is one of the members of our Student Experience team. The Student Experience team, they all have very different roles, but they all work together to enrich your university experience, to give you extra support and great opportunities, whether it's for volunteer or for exchange. So we have, for example, in terms of volunteer work, we have the Volunteers Assisting Students and Teachers program, the VAST program, and that's administered by Jill Careless. Jill Careless is also our exchange coordinator. So unfortunately, we had to cancel our exchanges this year, but normally we have a lot of students going on exchange and going to Australia, going to the UK, going to France, going to Singapore, all of the various places that with which we have exchange agreements. So Jill Careless works to help students get ready for that and make a nice seamless movement from one to the other to make sure that all of the courses that you take in the university abroad are going to apply to your undergraduate degree, and just ensuring that everything is very safe. We had with COVID, of course, we had to bring a lot of students home from exchange, and Jill is there to support students when they need that extra support for whatever reason. It's not always COVID. It could be, just missing home some of the time, which is often the case with people who go on exchange. But exchange programs, I believe in them very firmly. I did a number of them myself when I was a student, and I just think that they enrich your life tremendously. We also, as I said, Sunny Wong is there to help students who are having difficulty, who are exploring different options for their major. And he is a career counselor. He's also a registered therapist. So he's really not just working to help you with your resume. He's there. Well, he's not helping you with your resume. He's helping you explore your work options, explore your career options. What suits you? What is going to give you a fulfilling life? That's really important. In terms of the career, we work with the Career and Co-op Center. So we have Laura McKinnon, who does work with students on resumes and mock interviews. And she also works on specific career paths. So if you're going to go into criminology, what career path is open to you? What possibilities are there for you? If you're going to go into philosophy, what are some of the careers that our students have gone into? What are some of the possibilities? She also invites employers on campus. So every year we have a session on teaching. We just a couple of weeks ago, we had the Social Justice Careers Night. So a lot of different supports there to help you think about where it is you might like to go after you've finished your degree. Also looking at, we also have jobs on campus. A lot of our students have work through the Career Boost program on campus, and that's a really good opportunity for students as well. We also, another member of the team is Rena Tandon, Dr. Rena Tandon, who works on courses with faculty members and students to ensure that we have courses that reach out to the community, what we call community engaged learning. And this is, Ryerson, one of the great benefits of Ryerson is that we are a downtown campus, we are an urban campus, and there are a lot of things to see and do that we can incorporate into your education. So for example, one of my colleagues who teaches anthropology and linguistics, she takes her students to different interfaith communities across the city to speak with them. And that's something that Rena Tandon organizes. Or we have others that work with some of the agencies in Regent Park or in other parts of the city. Various ways of getting to know the city and getting to think about how your degree applies to life in general, applies to community, to make those contacts. We also have, and it's here today actually, is Rama Khelole, and she, as our student liaison administrator, she works on events such as open house, and she has put a lot of work into this, along, of course, with the student recruitment team. Everybody's working really well together. As we're a team, we really want to connect with students, and that we do that together. She's also in charge of the Arts Ambassadors. So this is a little program that we've put together to allow students to gain some training and through do volunteer work and some paid work on campus to develop professional skills and leadership skills. So that's a really exciting program to get involved with. Avila Moore is, I'm going to talk about her in a minute. She is the student manager, the manager of student relations and development, and she works with our Ryerson Liberal Arts Society. But before I leave the matter of the Student Experience Center, I want to reiterate what Elisa said. There are a lot of supports here on campus for you. The Student Experience Center is one of them. The Career and Co-op Center is another. You've already heard about the academic accommodation services, etc. So we really do believe in a holistic education. There's also on campus a really fantastic group which is Tri-Mentoring. So you come in, you might want to start as a mentee. You're coming in and you're benefiting from the assistance of a more senior student. And then hopefully we hope that a lot of our students will go on to become mentors for other students. It's a really great way. I mean, one of the best ways to learn is to teach. So working together, having senior students and more junior students working together, I think is a really great vehicle towards success and personal fulfillment. I'll take the next slide, please, Elisa. Okay, all right. So I did mention the Ryerson Liberal Arts Society. This is our student society. It's about 3 years old. It's not that old, but it's doing such exciting things. This is Liberal Arts. The RLAS, as we call it, is under. We have Avila Moore directs it. The president of the Ryerson Liberal Arts Society, Giselle Gerardo, is incredibly active in making sure there are great activities for students. So this is a student-led organization that represents all of the students in the Faculty of Arts and which engages all of the students in the Faculty of Arts. Every year they have a fantastic case competition that we call Sprout, where they work with different professionals in different communities, Toronto, Oshawa, wherever, to take a social problem, and sit down with experts and think about different ways of solving it. And whoever presents the best solutions, of course, wins the competition. But really, the whole point of it is leadership, teamwork, and problem solving. And these are skills that are really part of an undergraduate education. And I think that you'll really appreciate that about what we do at Ryerson and what we do specifically in the Faculty of Arts. The Ryerson Aboriginal Student Services, we really want to mention this organization. They provide a great deal of support for Indigenous students at Ryerson, and also, there's quite a network of Indigenous faculty and Indigenous staff and Indigenous support services that work together to make our goal really is to go beyond just saying the land acknowledgement. The land acknowledgement has to mean something. And so what we have been doing is we have increased the number of Indigenous faculty hires that we've made. We hope to make this space, Ryerson space, the Faculty of Arts space, a welcoming space for all students, including Indigenous students. And RAS is just part of that support that's there for our students. Okay. Do you want me to talk about the therapy dogs, or should we let the students speak?
Yeah, we're going to let the students speak. We do have therapy dogs, but hopefully something to look forward to when you come to campus.
No, you can still. They apparently are available online as well, Lisa. That's okay. What I wanted to mention that.
Okay.
Let's pass you've heard us talk enough. We're going to ask Yazdan and Zufishan to talk about their experiences as students. So they are here to answer your questions and also talk about the journey that they've gone through.
Yeah. So yes, and you can start. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kathleen and Alyssa. Yeah, so really awesome that all of you are here and considering the Undeclared Arts program. So I'll just sort of walk you through my experience here at Ryerson, starting with the Undeclared Arts program. So the workload has typically, it sort of waxes and wanes and varies depending on the class, but generally, you're graded on all sorts of things. So the workload includes essays, assignments, discussion board posts are big now, especially now that we're online. So the workload is very varied. There's a lot of different opportunities depending on your learning styles and how you are active in your classes for you to engage with the work and engage with the material. It's very varied, and it's varied. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of options to get good grades, and a lot of options to really learn the material. Typical course evaluation. So course evaluations, once again, it is varied now, especially now that we're online. So discussion posts are a big thing now. We have like take-home exams and assignments. It's all very manageable, and in my experience, professors have been nothing but incredibly accommodating and kind throughout this time. So it's all very manageable as long as you sort of try your best to manage your time and reach out for help and support when you need it in the various areas that were mentioned by Alyssa and Kathleen as well. In terms of the class sizes, it ranges for arts classes in particular. So in my experience, most of my classes have been around 30 to 50 students. Some of the mandatory classes like academic writing and critical thinking, those classes are typically larger because all arts students are required to take them, but it's nothing too overwhelming. It's all, and you also have like tutorials as well, so you get to connect with your fellow students at a more intimate level as well if you're somebody that prefers smaller class sizes, like I do, quite frankly. In terms of big change from high school to university that you may expect, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but your time is a little bit less structured. You know, in high school, you sort of have the external motivators of your parents maybe telling you, hey, you got to get this assignment done, or you got to get this homework done. Whereas in university, you have a lot more freedom, and it's like and with that freedom comes a little bit more responsibility in learning how to manage your time and being a little bit more self-motivated in the things that you have to do. And just to speak a little bit on Undeclared, so the reason that I came into Undeclared was because I was in one of those situations mentioned earlier where it's like, I don't know which program to pick. I was deciding between sociology and psychology. And Alyssa may actually not remember this, but when I was coming into the program, I had emailed a lot back and forth of like, Alyssa, I need help with trying to figure this out. I need to, will this credit count? Because I was coming in from an online high school, and she was very helpful and supportive throughout the whole process. So Kathleen was absolutely right when she talks about how helpful Alyssa is in this program. So yeah, it's very important to be able to explore your different opportunities. And once I was in sort of that class setting of sociology and psychology, it was down to those two. Sociology was just the right fit for me. And some of the things that are brought up, I think, that are worth mentioning is Sonny Wong. Kathleen brought up him as just being this incredibly supportive person. I got to meet with him recently for figuring out my own career path, and he was incredibly supportive. I walked out of that conversation feeling a lot better. And the SOG, I cannot stress enough, particularly for critical thinking. The SOG sessions for that class were incredibly helpful, and it was such a positive experience that I still keep in touch with the student leader that helped me to this day. So I cannot recommend enough the SLS, Student Learning Support Center, and SOG. So yeah, that's just some of my experience. Really hope that it gave you all a bit of an insight into what you can expect going into the program, but just couple of quick things to keep in mind. It's very important to get involved and to reach out for help when you need it. People in this program and at the school are here to help you, and I cannot stress that enough. It's all good, and yeah, you will be supported if you reach out and ask for it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Yazan. Mostly Yazan covered most of it, so I'll just talk on part of my journey. It's like similar, very similar. Like the workload varies, and the typical class, of course, evaluation varies as well. If you take online school, there will be a lot of discussion. So don't shy away from it. They're just there to like let the professor know what your like intake is. So that's nothing big. There will be exams, tests, assignments, essays, and like going I mean like moving up into upper years, there'll be like a lot of more research that will be involved. So just pace yourself, and like it's important that you do learn to learn to manage your time wisely, because there will be like sometimes there will be a lot of information and you will be like really confused. So you have to reach out and manage your time wisely before you get like overwhelmed with information. So definitely that is definitely helpful. The reason why I chose my program was because I was really interested in the sciences, social sciences, and I wanted to know like the patterns of humans development and spatial, how to see it from a spatial lens. So that's what it is. And in terms of like if you go into let's say if you choose different like there's like liberals, upper liberals, lower liberals, with the class sizes of those will be bigger. And versus like if you are just taking like politics course, let's say if you decide you're going to major in politics or geographic analysis, then you will have more or less like people in your classes, and you'll be more intimate in an intimate setting as well. So like don't be too overwhelmed. They're all there to help you. And my biggest advice for you guys, for you all, would be just talk to your professors, and obviously program and administrators. They're there to help you all. It's great to talk to them before you if you are feeling overwhelmed, and if you are like having some issues, just like ask them for help. They will be helping you. They're there to support you, so they will like help you for sure. So another thing that I wanted to add is that aside from my geographic analysis major that I'm doing, I'm also doing a minor in business. So that is something like I decided in my first year that I was like, I was gonna do a minor in a course. So I took business and I was like, oh my God, this is so good. It will go so well with like my degree in geographic analysis, and then maybe like moving on, thinking forward, planning ahead. I was like, oh, I can just open a consulting firm. So that will be a great thing. But to have like some insight on business. And like I just took a lot of like politics course, which are great. By the way, you guys should take them. Just like hyping them up because they're really informative. And some of the politics courses that I've taken them in summer school, which is basically you get like a month, usually a month or 2 months to finish one course, and they're really fast, but they're like really fast, but like you need to just like manage your time wisely while you're doing summer school. So I think that was like a great experience that I had because it helped me. It was beneficial for me because my program has an internship. So I ended up getting an internship in January in the winter of 2020. So which was unexpected, but I was like, oh, okay, that's okay. I can still graduate this year. So it like fast forwarded, put me like on track. So summer schools are great, courses are great. So definitely recommend for you guys to take it. I guess that's all for me. Just like there's a lot of supports available in campus. So definitely like reach out to anyone if you need any help. They're great people. There's like try mentoring, which is great. I always recommend people to just join try mentoring for the first year because they will help you so much. The students experience center is good, and like student learning center is amazing too because they help you with like academic support. So there's very a lot of great opportunities available. So just like come into the university and like enhance your experience by like getting support and getting involved and having fun while you're at it. So that will be my advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both. That was really great. So we're just going to go because we're almost at 3 o'clock.
And I guess we're up for the Q&A session, are we?
Yeah, so we do have a couple minutes here. So for those of you who are still joining here, if you do have any questions that haven't been answered, please feel free to throw those in the Q&A box and we can do a quick walkthrough of any questions that we do have that have been left over. I know that there was one question that came through. It had already been answered, but I think this was a really important question that I'm going to actually ask live as well. So the question was about undeclared arts. When you're applying for the program that you want to go into in second year, or when you're going into that program to second year, are we looking at the grades from high school or grades from undeclared arts?
It's the grades from undeclared arts. High school grades are not considered for program transfer. For admission to the program, yes, but not for program transfer.
Perfect. Thanks so much for clarifying. I don't see any more questions in the Q&A box, but I do want to leave us off with one question. So I myself am a liaison officer. So I typically travel to high schools across Ontario, talking to students about choosing Ryerson. And one of the questions that comes up, and I think that this would be a great answer from some of our students as well, if you're willing to chime in here too. Some students are a little bit worried about choosing something like undeclared arts because you're not technically in a program. So you're worried about maybe making friends on campus because, you know, you're kind of in your own world as an undeclared student, whereas other people who are going directly into something like sociology or English kind of have a cohort of people right away. So my question is always, or the question I typically get is, how do you make friends with people in the programs that you're going to be going into in second year?
I'll take a stab at that first, maybe. the benefit of what we call the first year common platform is that undeclared arts students are taking courses with other students in the Faculty of Arts. Everyone has to take social sciences and humanities courses, so you may not be in sociology, but you say you're taking Soc 105, then you're getting to meet the students there. And those sociology students may also be taking politics as an elective. You're taking that as well. So actually, I think in a way, it's quite a benefit for undeclared arts is that you get to meet students from all other majors. And then again, remember that all of the students in the Faculty of Arts take SSH 105 and take SSH 205. And that means that once again, you're with those first year students from the Faculty of Arts, and you can get to know other people. I think that it's a pretty smooth transition actually when you go into your major. I don't know if Elisa or the students, would you like to add to any of that?
Maybe Yaz, I don't know if Yazdan, because Yazdan started in undeclared, but I also want to mention too that, like Kathleen said, it was the common platform, which means that everybody in first year shares the same, almost the same curriculum, essentially. Just that some programs have more required courses. So a politics student would be required to take POG 100, where it's an option for undeclared art students. But students who want to get into politics, they end up in the same class with the students in the actual program. So they are making connections with students that are in that program in first year. So, and if they continue in politics and they take POG 110, which is the second course that's recommended for the program, again, you're going to be seeing the same politics students and still making those same connections. And then until your plan is changed to politics and governance, you're still going to continue with those same crowd. So you're never going to lose that connection. You're still going to build relationships and build friends within those courses. Just because you're undeclared doesn't mean that you can't get out there and make those connections. It's just the program is there for you just so that you can help make that decision for students who are just not sure about what major they want to pursue. Yeah, I know it's kind of over time right now, but.
Yazdan, did you want to speak to that as well? How was it transferring into sociology?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to speak to that. Yeah, Alyssa and Kathleen actually covered most of the sentiments that I felt as well, where it's like, you know, you already meet a lot of the same people who you will be studying with in future years in the first year common, the common program. So for example, for me, when I was in Soc 105, Soc 107, as an undeclared art student, I still am connected with many of the people who I'm now in third year with. So, and if anything, it's a bit of a benefit because undeclared will get you to explore other programs that you may not have otherwise if you had gone directly into a program that you were unsure about. So you get to meet students from other programs as well who you'll have common courses with, like critical thinking and academic writing, and get to connect with people from other programs. And of course, we always have access to the same orientation programs as every other art student. So there's still plenty of opportunities to make those connections and to make new friends.
Thank you.
So thanks so much for clarifying that. I know I was an art student as well. I was in the Arts and Contemporary Studies program, so I'm outside of the undeclared arts realm, but I still had a lot of the same classes as a lot of those students, and I can speak to that for sure. We had a lot of pretty much every program that you can think of. They were clustered together in many different classes, so it was a great way to kind of have the Faculty of Arts all in one all the time. So that was a really great way for us to connect with everyone. So we are over time here, but we have a few people who have stayed on with us. But I do want to close things off since I know that we do have a lot of virtual open house sessions that are kind of overlapping right now. For those of you who stayed with us, thank you so much. I do encourage you to check out our social media platforms. So I think on the previous slide, there was a handle for our Faculty of Arts. So at RU Faculty of Arts, as well as at Ryerson. We have social media accounts across the board, pretty much anything you can think of, we have it. Great way for you to connect not only with our campus from the comfort of your own home, but also connect with current students who often take over these accounts, and you can ask them live questions. So again, thank you so much for joining us. What'll happen is we'll stay online for a couple more minutes here to see if there's any final questions that come in the Q&A pod, but we will go off camera and mute ourselves. So we will kind of hang out behind the scenes for a couple more minutes. And if you have any final last minute questions, feel free to let us know. Otherwise, thank you again so much for joining, and we hope that you, your family, and your loved ones are staying safe during this time, and we hopefully will see you soon in future. Have a great day, and thank you again to all of our presenters too.